Tell me if this sounds familiar. You launch Minecraft, start up a new world excited with a massive list of projects you wish to complete. Ultimately, you get overwhelmed, bored of running in circles procrastinating, and quit the game. Then, you come back a few months later, create a new world, and start the process all over, swearing it won't happen again. That this is finally the time that you complete Minecraft. If this sounds like you aren't alone, as many of the player base goes through the exact same process. I hope you stick around to the end of the video to find out exactly how we can stop this endless cycle together. My name is Chespuff. Let's get into it. Minecraft is the best-selling video game of all time. A game with simple, blocky graphics and a generally basic concept has remained at the top of the video game world since its release in 2009. So, how has Minecraft been able to both survive and thrive while many other games have come and gone, attempting to steal the spotlight? The answer? Minecraft adapts to be what the user desires. Oftentimes in games there's a set way to play or a meta, but in Minecraft, the world is quite literally what you make of it. If you truly wanted to, you could play Minecraft differently each time you loaded up a new world. Perhaps this world would specifically be focused on building a city. Or maybe you want to spend your efforts to finally buckle down and learn redstone. Sometimes the most common way that I like to play is exploring some of the crazy generation that the Minecraft world has to offer. But let's answer the question asked in the title of today's video. Why can't you quit Minecraft? Now, before you run to the comment section and say, "Joke's on you, I just X'd out of Minecraft and quit the game," explain that. Or, "I quit years ago and I will never return." Let me explain exactly who I'm talking to and what I'm talking about. Of course, you can close the Minecraft launcher and effectively quit the game. Or you can delete a world that you no longer feel there's anything left for you to accomplish in. But there is something about Minecraft that despite you leaving that world behind, something inspires you to say, "I want to start up a new Minecraft world." So you might leave for a month or a year, but you'll be back. They always come back. And then you'll start up a new world from scratch, mining for diamonds and building a starter base. An endless circle. So why have so many players continued to play Minecraft if it's just an endless loop? It's because, along with countless updates to the game and new items and mechanics constantly being introduced, these players find new and inspiring ways to play the game that they love. Whether that be challenges like a speedrun, playing with no elytra, or hardcore mode. Maybe they decide to live in a certain biome and create a story about how they got there, creating lore to the world. Maybe you even create minigames like parkour maps or escape rooms for you and your friends to play. Those are just ideas that came off the top of my head. Think of all the other possibilities underneath the surface levels. So the real answer to why you can't quit Minecraft is simply because you haven't done everything yet. So the second you see an awesome YouTube video, you get inspired again. Sometimes you'll not play Minecraft for months, or even possibly years. But then one video pops up on your homepage, and immediately, you're back on the grind. Now, I'm not saying that you physically have to complete everything in the entire game that is possible. That would be craziness. That would be impossible. But what I am saying is that in those worlds that you created and deleted every time that you were coming back to Minecraft, you had unfinished business. You didn't complete everything that you wanted to. And this was because you piled up a ton of different things that you wanted to do, rather than taking the game one step at a time, one project at a time. Maybe you've always wanted to build a dwarven city, underground and huge. But you started the project by mining out this massive area, and before you could even begin a single house, shop, or market stall, you get tired of mining and lose all inspiration and drive to complete it. You bit off more than you could chew. It could have been easier if you had just started digging a small area and putting in a few different builds, or even just one house. Give this a try in your next world, or even the one you're currently working on, and let me know if it changed anything. It's possible you've heard this tip from another YouTuber and it just doesn't click, or you need something more to help you fulfill your drive to play the game consistently without taking these long intermissions between creating new worlds. Maybe what you need is just a change of playstyle. For example, I play the game almost identically the same way every single time, and I believe that has caused me to quit way too many of my worlds prematurely. If we hop into one of my realm worlds where I play with a few friends, my girlfriend and her family, I can somewhat walk you through exactly what I'm saying here. I think I'm correct in saying that the majority of players start things off by building a starter house, just to act as somewhere to sleep the night away and store a few items. I'm no different. So the next thing I typically like to do is get an XP spawner going, because I like to have that early game XP, get all my enchants perfect, basically, get the Silk Touch, Fortune, blah blah blah. So this is just my basic little setup for this, but I pretty much do this consistently on every world. So the next couple of things are a couple of farms, automatic farms that I usually make. This one is an iron farm. The other one that I typically go with is a pumpkin and melon farm for villager trading. The iron farm I can never come up with a good building, so I always just leave it kind of just sitting out like this, looking completely ugly. Something that definitely I'm not a huge fan of. Then next, I typically, as I said, make the pumpkin and melon farm. This is just the pumpkin and melon farm here, and this is just for villager trading. But this one actually gets a building, which is pretty good, I guess. So then the next thing that will happen is typically I watch a lot of YouTube. I'll watch things like Mythical Sausage, B000100, and Smallish Beans. Those are my three really go-to Minecraft YouTubers. And what will happen is I'll end up really loving their builds. And what I'll end up doing is deciding to try and implement them into my world. But at the end of the day, I just kind of end up copying their work. And I don't really build for myself. This is a big sheep farm that Mythical Sausage put in his hardcore world. In his, he had a couple spots for villagers, but I just kind of condensed it to just be the sheep. But it's literally the same inside, the same design, complete carbon copy. He also did a small castle building, which I was in love with, and I decided to kind of make my own little version of it. I did make it a completely unique shape, and I put it up on these rocks. And some of the towers are uniquely mine, but this house was pretty much a copy. But the shape, this was one that I was okay. I was like, okay, I did a little bit of work here. This is one of my villager trading sites for farmer villagers. Again, Mythical Sausage tutorial on YouTube. He uses it for librarians. I just went with the basic farmers here. But you can kind of see a trend. I'm starting to kind of copy a lot of stuff. Even this barn is like a YouTube tutorial that I followed. I was able to make this really cool observatory thing. And when I was able to make this was towards the end of the world. Kind of here. We kind of had built a lot of different things. And I actually had come up with this design all by myself, and I felt very accomplished in doing so. Because typically, like you guys can see, I copy a lot. I do a lot of things that aren't really uniquely my own. And, sorry, I'm not giving you the full shot, but here you go. But really, it's rewarding to do this when I did something that was out of my comfort zone. And because of this lack of desire to kind of build for myself that I initially had, I think that was a big part of what ultimately led to the downfall of my worlds, as I would get bored of them because I was just copying things, and that's not fun because I wasn't thinking for myself. And I'm really glad to say that now I'm starting to really try and build a little bit more of my own and find my own style. Luckily, I was able to identify this trend in my gameplay and have recently decided to really focus on improving myself as a player. Moving on to my newest survival single-player world, I have a build that I completely individually designed. Despite this building being relatively small, it is my starter house. This is hands down the build that I'm the most proud of that I've ever made in Minecraft. It was something that I came up with on my own. I had concepts and ideas for what I wanted it to look like and reasonings for choosing the blocks I chose. Oh no, it's starting to rain. Just devastating. But that's okay. The main inspirations for these, obviously I was kind of going for like a little bit of a tree shape with the base of it. And then I decided to kind of go with like a witch or a mage hat kind of roof design. Obviously, kind of like a fantasy, unique look. And the one that I actually got this from was from Rabadon's Death Cat in League of Legends. And so this kind of gave me the shape for this. And I was really interested in like overgrown, old-looking roofs with like moss and vines kind of growing off of it and leaves. So that was kind of the inspiration here. Repetition is always going to result in boredom and burnout. So if you find yourself seeing trends in your gameplay, try to go against the norm. There is no wrong way to play, as long as you're enjoying yourself. There's also no right way, no best way, just different ways. This video is all coming from my personal experience, but I'm really hoping that some of these things that have helped me consistently play a game that I love will also help some of you watching this. As this is my first video ever, if you've made it to this point, I owe you a massive thank you, and an obligatory, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Feel free to leave a comment on anything you liked, didn't like, or would like to see done differently for future content. It would mean the world to me, and I have some really fun content planned that stemmed from the making of this video, so hit the bell to get notified of my next upload. Minecraft is a game of infinite possibility, and because of this, Minecraft will never be completed by anyone. There will always be another project that you can complete, or another world to explore. So may we all keep playing for the experience, one project at a time. You can't quit, so you may as well push your limits in a game filled with endless possibilities. Keep mining and crafting, and I will see you next time.